Hi, this is me from the future, or like editing me. I don't know. Anyway, before you watch this video, I want to say, I swear there isn't a hurricane in my house. For some reason, I keep blowing into the mic. I don't know why. I don't know. Um, and it's also a bit of a deeper video than I intended it to be. I do cry a couple times throughout the video. I was trying to hold it back because I was trying to really explain what happened, but I couldn't hold it back. So I'm sorry. I'm very awkward about it. Watching it back and editing it, I cringe at myself, but I hope you can kind of um you know accept it for the way that it is. Okay? So enjoy the video. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Piper, Avi, and today I wanted to do a bit of a like deeper talk type of video. I don't really know what this is. I don't really know what the title's going to be because I have no idea what to call this, but whatever, you know. I wanted to talk about some stuff that I've experienced, like paranormal stuff, and I don't know if you believe in it. I don't know if you think it's all a load of crap or whatever. But the first time I've ever experienced anything um was, I think it was like 2 years ago. Um and I was on a vacation with my parents and my dog Eddie. Um I do have another dog, but I didn't have him back then, so just Eddie was with us on vacation. Um we were in Luxembourg, and we were on a hike through the mountains, and it's like this regular path. Like, we do that path like most of the time that we're there. So I don't know. It's kind of like I was familiar with the path. I'd been there before. But there's this, like, it's like you go up a mountain and then down the mountain again, and then when you're like kind of down the mountain, like on like the very I don't know, like, kind of like the lowest point of the mountain. It's not really like a canyon or whatever. It's just like the lowest part of the mountain. So like, yeah, you get it. Um, there's this like train track, and on the other side of the train track, which you can't cross the train track anymore because they closed it off with like fences and stuff, and you can't get across. But on the other side of the train tracks, there's this building, and we did know a little bit of the history of this building, but not that much. Um, we knew that it was used for transporting Jewish people back in the Second World War, which obviously the vibe wouldn't be too great of a building like that with history like that. I was there with my parents and my dog, and my mom and I, we were like, at the same time, we were like, we gotta get out of here. We both got the same feeling, like, I gotta get out of here. I have to leave. This doesn't feel good. Yada yada. So we like picked up the pace and we were like, okay, we're gonna get out of here. But what I didn't tell them because I thought like they're gonna say that I'm crazy. Um, I saw, like, it wasn't like right in front of me. Like, if I was to talk to you right now, I would see you in front of me. It was like an image in my head. But I saw this little girl. It was an image in my head of a little girl, and she had like dark brown hair. She didn't have an expression on her face. She was wearing this white dress type of thing. You know, one of those like old like dresses, you know what I mean? And I pictured her like on the path. I don't know how to explain it. It was like the trees and like the bushes and the grass, it was all like in the same spot. Um, and I can't explain this, but um, I have the feeling like she was waiting for a man, like her brother or her father or whatever. I don't know why or how, but I felt like she was waiting for a man. I don't know. But I didn't tell my parents that because I was like, they're gonna think I'm crazy. And the next day, my parents and my dog go on a hike again. But I didn't really feel like it because I have a knee injury, and like 2 days in a row hiking, it's not a very good idea. Because like my knees are not gonna like that. So I was like, okay, that's fun and all, but I'm gonna stay home because, or well, home at the trailer, but you know what I mean. Um, and so they went on a hike, and they came back, and they were like, oh yeah, no, we took like a different path, and there were like, you know, those like little signs with like information about like the Second World War. Like there was this wall that had like bullet holes in it still from the Second World War. It was like, you know, like stuff like that. It was like all across the path. So they tell me that there was also a sign about the building that, you know, we passed the day before. And they were like, oh, well, apparently it was just for like Jewish people to like transport it. And there was a man like helping them escape because they were like transported to you know what place. Okay. Um, and they told me that, and I was like, well, shit. So I told them what I saw, because I saw a little girl with like dark brown or black hair. So she would fit the description of like what Hitler thought was not good enough, was like it was not a real German or whatever. Um, and I felt like she was mating for a man. And then my parents tell me that, and I was like, what the actual fuck? Like, I hadn't told my parents that, right? So they didn't know I saw that, or whatever. Oh, what's he doing here? Okay, whatever. You know, that's fine. Um, that's not fine. It's kind of annoying. Okay, well, I also want to talk about something that happened to me a little more recently, like a month ago, about a month ago. Um, on my birthday, actually, which is awesome. You know, like, thanks. Yeah, that's a great day to pick for something like this. But anyway, what happened was I was lying in bed. I was lying like on my belly, like, and my face was like turned towards my closet, and it was really weird. Like, it was strange because I felt like I fell through my bed at first, like almost as if those like those wooden thingies that your mattress is on, like they were gone, and I fell through the bed with my mattress. It was weird, like I was falling down, and then next thing I know, I could feel the bed sheets move behind me, and like the bed was making sounds, like, you know, when your like bed sheets move, they like kind of make this real like crackling noise. I don't really know. That's what I heard. And then I hear this voice behind me. I don't really know what it said. It sounded like it said, gotta fill the hole tonight, but that doesn't really make any sense. But that's what I could make out, so whatever. And then I could feel like I could feel that there was someone laying behind me, right? And I could feel like this person like they were like leaning over to me, and then I hear this like breath in my ear, and it wasn't like a breath like huh, but it was like they were struggling to breathe. That's what I heard in my ear. And like for 15 minutes, I didn't want to move. I couldn't move. I couldn't even wiggle my toes. Like after 15 minutes, I like started wiggling my toes, and then I reached over to my phone, turned the flashlight on, and like looked behind me, and the bed was empty. So like, yeah, that's what happened. And like I remember, like it was the morning of my birthday, and we have this tradition that like whenever it's someone's birthday, the other people in the house make breakfast in bed for them, right? So I was like, Mom, Dad, please come up to my room because I'm terrified. But they didn't give me breakfast in bed, and I was like, I need to tell you guys something. So I told them, and my mom was like, well, maybe it's because like my neighbor's cat died, and we were pretty close to those neighbors. But why would someone tell me, like, I gotta dig a hole tonight because someone's cat died? I don't know. It didn't really make sense, but whatever, you know. But anyway, that was terrifying. It was so terrifying. I was so scared. I was petrified. Like, oh my god. It still gives me chills thinking back to that moment, you know. It's not okay. You know, thinking that like it's in my room too. Like I was asleep. Like it was scary. But um the day that I like celebrated my birthday, right? I invited like people over for my birthday, including my old babysitter actually, but she's more like a family friend right now. She's like a friend of mine, sort of, even though she's like a 60-year-old woman. But whatever. She was coming over, and she was like, I wouldn't say psychic or medium, but she can like, I guess that is what it is. She can like actually talk to like dead people and like see dead people, and she like picks up stuff. Like she knows some shit, you know. And I was like, can you please come up to my room because I need your help. So she came into my room. I explained to her what happened. She was like standing in different spots in my room and like feeling stuff. I don't really know what she was doing, but she stood on like that side of my bed because I told her like yeah I was laying here, and then on that side I felt like someone lay behind me. So she stood there, and she asked like, do you have pictures of dead people in your room? And I pointed to my closet like, yeah, there's my grandfathers, both my both of my grandfathers. And she was like, you never put pictures of dead people in your room, never ever. And she was like, I don't even have pictures of dead people in my house, let alone in my bedroom. So she took them out, and she took away my mirror too because she said like, that's stupid. You're gonna attract some things. But anyway, she was like looking at this picture of my one grandfather, like my mother's father's, like yeah, from my mom's side of the family. And she was like, it's that grandfather that was trying to talk to you. And then she was like, he's mad about something. She asked like, do you have any like bad friends? Like as in like people who do drugs or whatever. Like she was like, he's mad about something that you've done. I was like, what? No, I don't have friends who do drugs. I've never even had alcohol in my life because like I'm boring and I'm kind of a goody two shoes, but that's fine. And I'm a nerd, but it's okay. So I was like, no, I don't. And I couldn't think of what he could possibly be mad about because what had I ever done, right? And I've known this woman since I was still in diapers. So I was like 2 years old, 3 years old, and she knows a lot of stuff about me, and she knows the stuff that I struggle with because I can tell her that. She also knows I'm don't have a very good relationship with my mom. And she was like, are you still fighting with your mother as much as you used to? And I was like, yeah, you could even say that it's worse. And she was like, I think that's what he's mad about. I think that's what he's trying to get you to stop. I think that's what he was trying to tell you. And second she said that, I was like, I started crying. Like, I was like, oh my god. And like, I told my mom about it. She was like, yeah, well, that is what he was like. So that wouldn't, like, oh god, sorry, the dance. She was like, yeah, that wouldn't surprise me, because that's what he was like. So that makes sense. But, you know, I was like, well, what does he want me to do? Because it's not like I want to fight with my mom, right? I don't enjoy that. But, you know, I spend most of my life blaming myself for it. You know, I mean, like, oh my god, I'm such a horrible person. How could this have happened? I need to, like, work on this and work on that. But, the older I got, the more I realized that it's not really my fault. And I hate saying that. I hate saying it. I do. A year ago, a little over a year ago, it was when Violet died. Violet Flower Garden. And, 2 days before that, like, that Monday, I had the funeral of my neighbor, who was basically like a grandmother to me, like a third grandmother. I had known them all my life, and you know, I just hop over to their house. It's like 2 houses down the street. You know, they were like grandparents to me. And the year before that, her husband has passed away, and I was in Croatia at the time with a friend, and they didn't tell me that he died, and I asked about it every day. I was there, and I was there for 3 weeks, and I asked like, how's he doing? And I'm like, is he okay? And what is going on? And they were like, yeah, no, condition hasn't changed, and like stuff like that. And they're like, yeah, he's doing a little better or whatever. When in reality, he got this really bad infection, and he was transferred to the hospital, and he died. Because he wasn't able to speak, he wasn't able to move, and they just, you know, he died. And they had his funeral while I was in Croatia with my friend. And you could be like, well, they were just trying to not let you spoil your vacation, but like, that does not work for me. If you know me at all, you'd know that you shouldn't do that to me. Because I got home, and I was asking my dad, oh, hey, how's our neighbor doing? And he's like, oh, he died like 3 days ago. And that's the way you come home, you know? And, I mean, I know that they were doing what they thought was right, but if you know me at all, you know that that doesn't work for me, and that hurts more, because you lied to me, and I didn't have time to process, and I couldn't say goodbye to him, because I was away, and, sorry, you know, that obviously hurt, but, sorry, but when Violet died, that Monday, I had buried my neighbor slash third grandma, or whatever, and, sorry, you know, I was at home that Monday, obviously, because the funeral, and the next day, I stayed home as well, because I was exhausted from the funeral. I'm not kidding. And then that Wednesday, sorry, that was so rude. Anyway, that Wednesday, I finally decided to go to school. I was like, no more sitting at home in pity for myself. I'm gonna go to school. And I was on the bus to school. And it was, it was a long bus ride, like 20 minutes, and I was on my phone. I was scrolling around Instagram, and I came across Maddie's post saying that Violet passed away. And I remember having to hold in my tears. Like, I almost couldn't, but like, I was holding back my tears because I was on the bus, and I didn't want to like start crying on the bus for no reason. And that day at school, I can't remember at all. I just, I try to not let anyone know, and I don't think anyone noticed, so that's good, sort of. But anyway, obviously the day after that, I stayed home as well because, I'd already lost my neighbor, and then Violet passed away. It was like, I was in a pretty dark place a couple years ago, and I started watching Violet, and like, her videos were like the little bit of good in my life, as sad as it sounds. She was like, she always managed to cheer me up a little bit after a long day or a bad day or whatever. Um, and honestly, she kind of felt like a big sister to me. I don't know, it's kind of weird, but I can't explain it, but that's what she felt like to me. She was like a role model. And she was really funny, so that's good too. But she passed away, and that really hurt. On top of that, I'd already lost my neighbor before that. And then that Friday, still didn't go to school because I just couldn't. And my dad called school, told him I was sick, right? So he was like, "Oh yeah, she's sick," because that's what he does. And I remember that I was in my room doing whatever because I was crying every 10 minutes or so. I'm not kidding. I was trying to process, but it wasn't easy because if you go on Instagram, you see all these posts about Violet because of the algorithm. And when you go on YouTube, you see all these videos like "Goodbye, Violet," stuff like that, which I'm not saying they're not allowed to do that because, hello, they are, obviously. But it isn't easy if you're trying to process it. Like, stuff like that just gets rubbed in your face if you go online. And, I was just doing whatever to get my mind off things. And even, like, playing Star Stable, obviously it helped and made me feel a bit closer to Violet, because she played Star Stable, obviously. But yeah, it was also, like, it was just weird, and it's kind of a blur, to be honest. I think I blocked it out of my mind on purpose. And I remember it was about 5 p.m. and my mom got home from work and went to my room, and she was like, "Why aren't you at school?" I was like, "Oh, didn't Dad tell you? Like, he called me in sick because I'm tired and I'm still processing things." She was like, "Well, it's been 4 days. Like, do you think it's a good idea to go to school?" Which is not a weird question to ask. She's like, "I get that." And I was like, "No, because something happened and I want to tell you, but if I explain it to you, you wouldn't understand. Like, you wouldn't get it." Because she wouldn't get it, because she's from a different generation and she doesn't understand that I can feel a certain way about something, about someone I've never met, like someone on the internet that I've never talked to. And she was like, "Well, try me. Please talk to me." So explained it to her anyway. And you guessed it. She didn't understand. Because the first thing she said after I finished my last sentence was like, "But that's not a reason to stay at home." Yeah, she said to a grieving teenager. and not just one death, but like 2 deaths. So yeah, that's a great thing to say to someone, you know? Yeah, that's awesome. So anyway, I was like, well, I think it is because like I'm processing 2 deaths. She was like, but you don't know her, so you can't care about her, right? And I was like, see, I told you you wouldn't understand. And she was like, no, I don't understand because it doesn't make sense. And I don't know, we just got in a fight. But basically, you know, moral of the story, what she told me was that my feelings weren't valid because I didn't know Violet personally, so how could I possibly have cared about them, right? Like, thanks, Mom. You know, and that hurt me so bad. And not even like hurt me, but it like it actually scarred me. Like I had to DM someone on Instagram because I followed this account and they always said under their posts like my DMs are always open. And I was like, you know what, fuck it. You know, I need someone to talk to. And I sent them a DM explaining everything. And they said like, everyone grieves differently and your mom may not understand, but that doesn't make it okay. And it doesn't mean that your feelings aren't valid because they are. And, you know, after I read that message, I just started crying again because that was when I realized that what had happened to me wasn't okay. What she said to me wasn't okay. And you know what the worst part is? It's not even that she said that in the first place. But, she never said sorry. She never apologized. Or whatever. Meaning that she thought that what she said to me was fine. That it was okay. Because I literally had to, like, ask her to say sorry to me. And even then, she didn't really want to say sorry because she still didn't think she did anything wrong. You know, that hurt me the most because it really hurt me. It really scarred me. And she didn't even feel the need to apologize about it. You know? And that I've never forgiven her for that. Like, who does that? Honestly. You know? And, my dad, later that day, came up to my room and asked, like, hey, I heard from Mom that you guys were fighting. What's going on? So I explained it to him. I explained him what happened, like, that Violet passed away and stuff. Same story, again. And he was like, I'm gonna be really honest with you. I don't understand. I don't get it. But he said, like, I can tell that it affects you really bad and that it hurts you. So no, I don't understand. But if you think it's best for you to not go to school, then that's what you should do, and only you can be the judge of that. But you know, that's everything he should have said. You know, that's everything I needed from him. Because, like, I know that he doesn't understand, because how could he, right? But just saying that just because you don't agree with it, or just because you don't understand it, that it's bad, and that you're wrong, that I was wrong, that's just not okay to me. And, you know, I think that's one of the reasons why my mom and I are still fighting, because after this event has happened, right, I told myself I have 2 options. I can keep on going and probably wreck myself in the process, or I can stop giving a shit. I can stop caring about it and just move on and only take care of myself, because why would I care about her if she doesn't care about me? Because if you really cared about me, you wouldn't have said those things. And you would have felt the need to apologize because you could have been able to tell that it hurt me and that it scarred me and that I'm mad at you, but she didn't. And I just got so frustrated with her, and she's never going to change. And it's like I'm trying to save a sinking ship all on my own, right? Because she never changes. She never will. I don't even know if she's capable of it. Anyway, sorry. I know I don't really speak of her in a very loving way, but that's because I realized I don't think I do love her. Because how could I love someone like that? You know? Like, I had to go to therapy to find out that it's not okay. I had to have someone tell me that it wasn't okay for me to realize that it wasn't okay. Because I was like, I must have done something wrong. Because I always portray myself as the bad guy. Because she's always the victim. Because that's how she acts. And that's very manipulative. And I really don't like it. And I don't know why she does the things she does. I don't know why she acts the way she does, but it's not an excuse. I know that she has had some pretty dark shit happen at her house. Like, my grandfather had a drinking problem, and he would beat my grandmother, and all my uncles and aunts and my mother were there to witness it, and I get that it scars you. But if that really affects you that much in your daily life, maybe go to therapy. And I know that it's like, you don't know what happened to her, and I don't think I want to know what happened to her because it was horrible. But it's not an excuse to just sit back and not do anything about it. Like, it's not okay to blame me instead. Like, it's just not. And that's how I feel about it. I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. But yeah, I have been fighting with my mom a lot, but that's not necessarily my fault. And I hate saying that. I hate saying it. I literally hate saying it, because when there's two people fighting, there's two people at fault. That's what I've been taught, and that is what I honestly truly believe. But if I tell you something, and you don't listen to me, and you're not being understanding and loving and caring and stuff, how am I supposed to trust you? How am I supposed to let you in? How am I supposed to not see you as this big evil monster? Because that's what she is in my mind right now. And I don't know how to fix that. Maybe therapy would be good. You know, like, I think it would. Because I think there's a lot of underlying issues that really need to be worked out. And like, even talking to myself, like sitting in my room, talking to myself, explaining everything to myself, even that helps. Like, that puts things in perspective, because as I'm telling myself this, or as I'm telling the walls in my room what happened, or how I feel about it, makes me think like, hey, maybe that's because this and this happened in the past, and maybe that's why I respond the way I do, or maybe that's why I feel the way that I do. And it helps me understand myself and understand the situation, understand my emotions, and that's good. But, you know, it could be nice to have someone tell you their perspective. I do honestly truly believe that, you know, there's always three sides to a story. You know? Like, there's my side, there's her side, and then there's the truth. And I think we can both get pretty caught up in our own side and not really listen to the other person. But you know, the problem is I don't really care about her side. I don't really care about her opinion. I don't really care what she thinks. Not anymore, because why would I? Because it only makes me end up getting hurt. You know, that's how it always ends. Me getting hurt. So I don't know. I have tried to like I'm still trying to like every time she like does something to just say in a very calm tone like um I don't like that you're doing this, or like it annoys me that you do this. Or, like I feel pressured because you do this to me and I want you to stop doing it. Because then eventually she'll be like, "Wait, do I do that? Like do I really put pressure on you?" Hmm. You know, and that's when she can start to change, but I don't know if she's capable of changing. And I don't really know if I care enough to be there when she does. But that's just, you know, a little bit of a shallow kind of, well, not shallow, but like a kind of tip of the iceberg type of explanation. I don't really know. Yeah, so, I kind of, like, I want things to get better. Obviously, I want things to get better. But I don't know if it's fair of my grandfather to say to me that I'm the only one that can change things. Because I'm not. Because there's two people at fault, and there's two people who can do something about it. And in my opinion, the ball is in her corner. And I don't really think I can do anything about it anymore. I don't really think I care enough to do anything about it. Not anymore, at least. But, yeah. Sorry, this was a bit of a happy. Sorry, no. I was going to say happy. No, I was going to say heavy and deep, and it just turned into happy. Sorry, it was not a happy video. Um, it was a bit of a heavy video, a bit deeper and a bit heavier than I intended it to be. So I'm sorry if it was a bit too much. But it really helped me. So that's good, because that's kind of what I do it for, right? Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Um, I'll, I'll see you guys soon in the next video. I think it's going to be a truth or dare trading time video thing. Tea time video. Yeah, tea time. That's what I called it. Um, so I'll see you guys then. Um, why is my, yeah, thank you. And maybe if the set of friends is, or whatever however you pronounce it, if that comes out, maybe then I'll see you guys, but I don't know. Because I've seen the spoilers, and I really like the 𝐒𝐨𝐜𝐿𝐴, because I used to ride at this facility. They had almost the exact same horse, I'm not kidding, almost the exact same horse, and it was called Rocket. So if that's a name option, I'll name him that. Definitely. And I really like the bay, because the bay looks almost exactly like my horse. Almost exactly. Like the shade of brown and the face markings. The only thing is that the legs, like my horse has 3 white feet, not 2, but you know, you kind of your exact horse, right? That's, but like it's close enough. It's really close. I'll put a picture on the screen so you can see. Anyway, I'm really excited for them, actually. But I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm sorry if it was a bit too deep and a bit too heavy. Sorry, oh my god. But stay safe, guys, and stuff like that. Okay, bye now.